Chennai ʻtʃɛnnaɪ is the capital of the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. Located on the Coromandel Coast off the Bay of Bengal, it is the biggest cultural, economic and educational center in South India. According to the 2011 Indian census, it is the sixth largest city and fourth most populous urban agglomeration in India. The city, together with the adjoining regions, constitute the Chennai Metropolitan Area, which is the 36th largest urban area by population in the world. Chennai is one of the Indian cities most visited by foreign tourists, and is the 47th most visited city in the world. The Quality of Living Survey rated Chennai as the safest city in India. Chennai attracts 45% of health tourists visiting India, and 30 to 40% of domestic health tourists. As such, it is termed India's health capital. Chennai has the third largest expatriate population in India at 35,000 in 2009, 82,790 in 2011, and estimated at over 100,000 by 2016. Tourism guide publisher Lonely Planet named Chennai as one of the top 10 cities in the world to visit in 2015. Chennai is ranked as a beta-level city in the Global Cities Index and was ranked the best city in India by India.The in the 2014 annual Indian City Survey. In 2015, Chennai was named the hottest city by the BBC, citing the mixture of both modern and traditional values. National Geographic ranked Chennai's food as second best in the world. It was the only Indian city to feature in the list. Chennai was also named the 9th best cosmopolitan city in the world by Lonely Planet. In January 2015, the Chennai Metropolitan Area was ranked as the third largest economy in India, with the third highest GDP per capita. Chennai has been selected as one of the 20 Indian cities to be developed as a smart city under PM Narendra Modi's flagship Smart Cities mission. Etymology. There are two different theories for the origin of the name Chennai. The first theory is that it was derived from the name of a Telugu ruler Damala Chennappa Nayakudu, father of Damala Venkatapathy Naik, a Naik ruler who served as a general under Venkata III of the Vijayanagar Empire, from whom the British acquired the town in 1639. The first official use of the name Chennai is said to be in a sale deed, dated 8 August 1639, to Francis Day of the East India Company. The second theory states that it was named after the Chennakesava Perumal temple, the temple regarded as the face of the city. The fact that Madras is a word of Tamil origin and Chennai is a word of Telugu origin has been clearly proven and documented by renowned scholars and historians. The name Madras originated even before the British presence was established in India. The name Madras is said to have originated from a Portuguese phrase Madre Deus, which means Mother of God, due to Portuguese influence on the port city. According to some sources, Madras was derived from Madraspattinam, a fishing village north of Fort St. George. However, it is uncertain whether the name was in use before the arrival of Europeans. The British military map makers believed Madras was originally Mundya Rajamundaraj. Madras might have also been derived from the word Maduras, meaning juice of honey or sugarcane in Sanskrit. A Vijayanagar era inscription dated to the year 1367 that mentions the port of Maduras on Pattanam, along with other small ports on the east coast, was discovered in 2015, and it was theorized that the aforementioned port is the fishing port of Royapuram. In 1996, the government of Tamil Nadu officially changed the name from Madras to Chennai. At the time, many Indian cities underwent a change of name. However, the name Madras continues in occasional use for the city, as well as for places named after the city such as University of Madras, IIT Madras, Madras Institute of Technology, Madras Medical College, Madras Christian College. History. Stone Age implements have been found near Pallavaram in Chennai. According to the Archaeological Survey of India, Pallavaram was a megalithic cultural establishment, and prehistoric communities resided in the settlement. The region around Chennai has served as an important administrative, military, and economic center for many centuries. During 1st century CE, a poet and weaver named Tiruvluvar lived in the town of Mylapore. For the first 12th century, the region of present Tamil Nadu and parts of South India was ruled by the Cholas. The Pallavas of Kanchi built the areas of Mahabalipuram and Pallavaram during the reign of Mahendravarman I. They also defeated several kingdoms, including the Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas, who ruled over the area before their arrival. Sculpted caves and paintings have been identified from that period. Ancient coins dating to around 500 BC have also been unearthed from the city and its surrounding areas. A portion of these findings belonged to the Vijayanagara Empire, which ruled the region during the medieval period. The Portuguese first arrived in 1522 and built a port called São Tomé after the Christian apostle, St. Thomas, who is believed to have preached in the area between 52 and 70 CE. In 1612, the Dutch established themselves near Pulicat, north of Chennai. On the 22nd of August 1639, which is referred to as Madras Day, the English East India Company under Francis Day bought a small strip of land stretching 3 miles on the Coromandel Coast. They got a license to build a fort and a castle in the contracted region. The ruler Damala Chenappa Kudu, the Nayaka of Chandragiri, granted the English permission to build a factory and warehouse for the trading enterprises. The region was then primarily a fishing village known as Madraspatnam. A year later, the English built Fort St. George, the first major English settlement in India, which became the nucleus of the growing colonial city, and urban Chennai grew around this fort. Post-independence, the fort housed the Tamil Nadu Assembly until the new Secretariat building was opened in 2010, but shortly afterwards it was again moved back to Fort St. George due to a change in the government. In 1746, Fort St. George and Madras were captured by the French under General Le Bourdonnais, the governor of Mauritius, who plundered the town and its outlying villages. The British regained control in 1749 through the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle and strengthened the town's fortress wall to withstand further attacks. For the French and Hyder Ali, the Sultan of Mysore, they resisted a French siege attempt in 1759 under the leadership of Ercout. In 1769 the city was threatened by Mysore and the British were defeated by Hyder Ali, after which the Treaty of Madras ended the war. By the 18th century, the British had conquered most of the region around Tamil Nadu and the northern modern-day states of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, establishing the Madras Presidency with Madras as a capital. Gradually, the city grew into a major naval base and became the central administrative centre for the British in South India. With the advent of railways in India in the 19th century, the thriving urban centre was connected to other important cities such as Bombay and Calcutta, promoting increased communication and trade with the hinterland. Sir Arthur Lawley was governor of Madras from 1906 to 1911 and promoted modern agriculture, industry, railways, education, the arts and more democratic governance. The governor lived in Government House, Fort St. George, and had a country home at Guindy, with access to a golf course, hockey pitches, riding stables and the Guindy horse racing track. In the First World War as Red Cross Commissioner in Mesopotamia, he looked after the welfare of Indian soldiers. Madras was the only Indian city to be attacked by the Central Powers during World War I, when an oil depot was shelled by the German light cruiser SMS Emden on the 22nd of September 1914, as it raided shipping lanes in the Indian Ocean, causing disruption to shipping. After India gained its independence in 1947, the city became the capital of Madras state, which was renamed as Tamil Nadu in 1969. The violent agitations of 1965 against the compulsory imposition of Hindi and in support of English in India in the state marked a major shift in the political dynamics of the city, and eventually it had a big impact on the whole state. Because of Madras and its people, English now exists in India, otherwise Hindi might have been made the sole official language in India. On the 17th of July 1996, the city known as Madras was officially renamed Chennai, in line with what was then a nationwide trend to using less anglicized names. On the 26th of December 2004, an Indian Ocean tsunami lashed the shores of Chennai, killing 206 people in Chennai and permanently altering the coastline. The 2015 Chennai flood submerged major portions of the city, killing 269 people and resulting in damages of 86.4 billion rupees. Environment. Geography. Chennai, sometimes referred to as the gateway to South India, is located on the southeastern coast of India in the northeastern part of Tamil Nadu on a flat coastal plain known as the Eastern Coastal Plains. Its average elevation is around 6.7 meters, and its highest point is 60 meters. Two major rivers flow through Chennai, the Coam River through the center and the Adayar River to the south. A third river, the Coromandel, travels through the northern fringes of the city before draining into the Bay of Bengal at Ennore. The estuary of this river is heavily polluted with effluents released by the industries in the region. Adayar and Coam rivers are heavily polluted with effluents and waste from domestic and commercial sources. The Coam being so heavily polluted it is regarded as the city's eyesore. A protected estuary on the Adayar forms a natural habitat for several species of birds and animals. The Buckingham Canal, 4 kilometers inland, runs parallel to the coast linking the two rivers. The Ateri Nulla, an east-west stream, runs through North Chennai and meets the Buckingham Canal at Basin Bridge. Several lakes of varying size are located on the western fringes of the city. Some areas of the city have the problem of excess iron content in groundwater. Chennai's soil is mostly clay, shale and sandstone. Clay underlies most of the city, chiefly Manali, Kolatha, Madura oil, K, Nagar, Tambaram, Madishur, Palavaram, Semancheri, Alapakam, Vyasapadi and Ananagar. Sandy areas are found along the river banks and coasts, and include areas such as Tiruvati, Georgetown, Madavaram, New Washam and Pet Chepau, Mylapore, Pur, Adayar, Besantnagar and Uthandai. In these areas, rainwater runoff percolates quickly through the soil. Areas having hard rock surface include Gindi, Nanganallur, Palikarnai, Alandur, Jaladampet, Velachery, Adambakam and a part of Sidarpe and Perungudi. The groundwater table in Chennai is at 4 to 5 meters below ground in most of the areas, which was considerably improved and maintained through the mandatory rainwater harvesting system. Geology. Chennai is classified as being in seismic zone 3, indicating a moderate risk of damage from earthquakes. Owing to the geotectonic zone the city falls in, the city is considered a potential geothermal energy site. The crust has granite rocks indicating volcanic activities in the past. It is expected that temperatures of around 200 to 300 C degree will be available if the ground were drilled 4 to 5 kilometers deep. The region has the oldest rocks in the country dating back to nearly 1 billion years. Flora and fauna of the southern stretch of Chennai's coast from Tiruvandmai to Neelangara are favored by the endangered olive ridley sea turtles too, lay eggs every winter. A large number of cattle egrets, pond herons and other water birds can be seen in the rivers of Coromandel. About 75,000 birds migrate to Chennai every year. Marshy wetlands such as Pallikaranai also play host to a number of migratory birds during the monsoon and winter. Over 300 species of birds have been recorded in the city and its neighborhood by members of Madras Naturalist Society since its inception in 1978. Gindi National Park is a protected area within the city limits. Wildlife conservation and research activities take place at Arina Anna Zoological Park, including olive ridley sea turtle conservation. Madras Crocodile Bank Trust is a herpetology research station located 40 kilometers south of Chennai. It is India's leading institution for herpetofaunal conservation and the first crocodile breeding center in Asia. Environment conservation. Chennai has 3 rivers and many lakes spread across the city. Urbanization has led to shrinkage of water bodies and wetlands. The quantity of wetlands in the city has decreased from 650 to only 27 currently. The Chennai River Restoration Trust set up by the government is working on the restoration of Adyar River. Environmentalist Foundation of India is a volunteering group working towards wildlife conservation and habitat restoration. Climate. Chennai has a tropical wet and dry climate. The city lies on the thermal equator and is also on the coast, which prevents extreme variation in seasonal temperature. The hottest part of the year is late May to early June, known regionally as Agni Nakshatram or as Kateri Vayil, with maximum temperatures around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. The coolest part of the year is January, with minimum temperatures around 19 to 25 degrees Celsius. The lowest recorded temperature was 13.9 degrees Celsius on the 11th of December 1895 and the 29th of January 1905. The highest recorded temperature was 45 degrees Celsius on the 31st of May 2003. The average annual rainfall is about 140 centimeters. The city gets most of its seasonal rainfall from the northeast monsoon winds from mid-October to mid-December. Cyclones in the Bay of Bengal sometimes hit the city. The highest annual rainfall recorded is 257 centimeters in 2005. Prevailing winds in Chennai are usually southwesterly between April and October and northeasterly during the rest of the year. Historically, Chennai has relied on the annual rains of the monsoon season to replenish water reservoirs, as no major rivers flow through the area. Chennai has a water table at 2 meters for 60% of the year. Administration. Chennai City is governed by the Greater Chennai Corporation, which was established in 1688. It is the oldest surviving municipal corporation in India and the second oldest surviving corporation in the world. In 2011, the jurisdiction of the Chennai Corporation was expanded from 174 square kilometers to an area of 426 square kilometers, dividing into 3 regions, North, South and Central, which covers 200 wards. The corporation is headed by a mayor, an office presently occupied by Siddhar Duraisamy. The mayor and councillors of the city are elected through popular vote by the residents. While the city limit was expanded to 426 square kilometers in 2011, the revised population is yet to be officially announced. The Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority is the nodal agency responsible for planning and development of Chennai Metropolitan Area, which is spread over an area of 1,180 189 square kilometers, covering the Chennai district and parts of Tiruvallur and Kashipuram districts. The larger suburbs are governed by town municipalities, and the smaller are governed by town councils called panchayats. Under the gamut of the CMD are 5 parliamentary and 28 assembly constituencies. The CMD has drafted an additional master plan that aims to develop satellite townships around the city. The city's contiguous satellite towns include Mahabalipuram in the south, Chengalpattu and Marimalai Nagar in the southwest, and Sriperumbudur, Arakkonam, Kanchipuram and Tiruvallur to the west. Chennai, as the capital of the state of Tamil Nadu, houses the state executive and legislative headquarters primarily in the Secretariat buildings in the Fort St. George campus. The Madras High Court is the highest judicial authority in the state, whose jurisdiction extends across Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Chennai has 3 parliamentary constituencies: Chennai North, Chennai Central and Chennai South, and elects 16 members of the Legislative Assembly to the state legislature. Law and Order. The Greater Chennai Police is the main law enforcement agency in the city, with a jurisdiction of over 745 square km catering to over 85 lakh people. It consists of 121 police stations and is headed by Commissioner of Police. The Greater Chennai Police is a division of the Tamil Nadu Police, and the administrative control lies with the Tamil Nadu Home Ministry. Chennai City Traffic Police is responsible for the traffic management in the city. The metropolitan suburbs are policed by the Chennai Metropolitan Police, headed by the Chennai Police Commissionerate, and the outer district areas of the CMD are policed by the Kanchipuram and Tiruvallur police departments. As of 2011, Chennai City has a sanctioned strength of 14,000 police personnel, with a population density of 26,903 persons per square kilometer. The city had 1 policeman for every 413 people. The Chennai Suburban Police had about 4,093 police personnel and a ratio of 1 to 1,222. In 2010, the crime rate in the city was 169.2 per 100,000 people, as against an average of 341.9 in the 35 major cities of India. In 2011, North Chennai Zone had 30 police stations and 3 police outposts. Central Chennai Zone had 28 police stations and 3 police outposts, and South Chennai Zone had 30 police stations. In 2009, Chennai Central Prison, one of the oldest prisons in India, built over 11 acres of land, was demolished. The prisoners were moved to Pural Central Prison. Politics. Since the 19th century, when Western scholars proposed that Dravidian languages, which dominated the southern region of India, formed a different linguistic group to that of the Indo-Aryan languages that are predominant in the north of the subcontinent, the aspects of Tamil nationalism gained prominence. This resulted in the anti-Hindi agitations in the city and across the state. However, the post-independence reorganization of Indian states according to linguistic and ethnic basis has moderated Tamil nationalism, especially the demand for separation from the Indian Union. The anti-Hindi agitations in mid-1960s made the DMK more popular and more powerful political force in the state. The agitations of the 1960s played a crucial role in the defeat of the Tamil Nadu Congress Party in the 1967 elections and the continuing dominance of Dravidian parties in Tamil Nadu politics. Being the capital of the Madras province that covered a vast area of the Deccan region, Chennai remained the centre of politics in the southern region of India during the British colonial era. After independence, it remained the centre of political activities of the state of Tamil Nadu. Chennai is the birthplace of the idea of the Indian National Congress, commonly known as the Congress Party, founded by Indian and British members of the Theosophical Society movement, most notably A.O. Hume. The idea was originally conceived in a private meeting of 17 men after a Theosophical convention held in the city in December 1884. During the first 50 years of the Indian National Congress, the city played host to its conferences 7 times in 1887, 1894, 1898, 1903, 1908, 1914, and 1927, becoming one of the strong bases for the Indian independence movement. After independence, the city hosted the Congress in 1955 in its suburb of Avadi. Chennai is also the birthplace of several regional political movements since the British era. South Indian Welfare Association, one of the earliest regional parties, was founded in 1916, which later came to be known as the Justice Party, which was the main opposition party to the Indian National Congress in the state. In 1944, the party was renamed Dravida Kazhagam by E.V. Ramasamy. The party was a non-political party that demanded the establishment of an independent state called Dravida Nadu. However, due to the differences between its two leaders, Periyar and C.N. Annadurai, the party was split. Annadurai left the party to form the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. The DMK decided to enter into politics in 1956. Utility services. The city's water supply and sewage treatment are managed by the Chennai Metro Water Supply and Sewage Board. Water is drawn from Red Hills Lake and Chembarambakkam Lake, the primary water reservoirs of the city, and treated at water treatment plants located at Kilpauk, Chembarambakkam, and supplied to the city through 27 water distribution stations. The city receives 530 mld of water from Krishna River through Telugu Ganga project, 180 mld of water from the Viranim Lake project, and 100 mld of water from the Minjur desalination plant, the country's largest seawater desalination plant. However, Chennai is predicted to face a huge deficit of 713 million litres per day in 2026, as the demand is projected at 2,248 mld and supply estimated at only 1,535 mld. The city's sewer system was designed in 1910, with some modifications in 1958. There are 714 public toilets in the city managed by the city corporation, and 2,000 more have been planned by the corporation. The corporation also owns 52 community halls across the city. The Corporation of Chennai provides civic services to the city. Garbage collection in some of the wards is contracted to Ramki Enviro Engineers Limited, a private company, while the corporation looks after the removal and processing of solid waste in the others, with a superintendent engineer managing the channels. As of 2011, 8 transfer stations exist within the city for treating the waste. Garbage is dumped in 2 dump yards in the city, one in Kodungallur and another in Perungudi, with a major portion of the latter covering the Palakrani marshland. In market areas, the conservancy work is done during the night. Electricity is distributed by the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. Fire services are handled by the Tamil Nadu Fire and Rescue Services. The city, along with the suburbs, has 33 operating fire stations.